Ashwini, we are starting soon.
Yeah.
Ashwini, are you able to hear and
I can able
yeah,
to hear you.
the lady is properly
No,
able to see, right?
I can only hear your voice.
Okay, so you're not able to see the screen, right?
Screen I can see, but I cannot hear her.
You cannot hear her. No, she's not speaking yet.
Okay, yeah, I can see her. I can see her. Okay.
Yeah. Did you hear the light music going on in the
Yeah,
background?
yeah, that is
It's
how
going,
it
right?
is. Yeah, Saukat screen. It's I can able to see. Yeah.
Perfect. Ashwini, make your screen full.
Is a master.
Ashwini, please go ahead.
Yes. Can I begin?
We are able to hear you.
Can I begin? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Aswini Priyanka Rajendran, Chief Operations Officer of Security Solution. I'm really delighted to be a part of this great event. Today, we're going to see about the cyber safety, safe and unsafe content in the internet. About myself, I am a certified ethical hacker. I have completed my master's in engineering and an MBA degree from UK. I have a strong operations and professionally skill in ethical hacking, information security, data security. I have won several accolades like Entrepreneur of the Year 2023 by SRM College, and I have been featured as one of the top 100 inspiring women by Fox Story. Let me walk you through cybersecurity. So, what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity refers to the practice of protecting computer system, network, programs, and data from digital attack, damaged, and unauthorized access of the data theft. So there are a lot of different threats are happening in cybersecurity. One among is like adware, botnet, and several other attacks, which is useful for the cyber criminals to perform online tasks without the permission of the device owners. Let me walk you through some of the cyber threats. Before that, why we need to understand like why cybersecurity is so critical at this point of time. So all the business has different types of transaction has been conducted every day. So inadequate and improper security mechanism can bring down the business to a havoc and also the people lives. Since electronic document and messages are now becoming very important for all this legal purpose. So, cybersecurity is a major safety mechanism. So, when we talk about security, we must protect our systems and data in the same way that we secure like our home door. And safety, when it comes to safety, we must behave in ways that protect us against risk and threats that come up with some technology. So some of the cyber threat issues are like malware. So from the term itself, you can understand it's a malicious software which can penetrate the computer and it can spread all the files and corrupt the data, which can be the most common cyber threat which we are facing in the daily life. Next is about adware. So adwares are nothing but least when you just browse a website, you might see a lot of pop-up ads coming by. When you click into one website or anything, it may just take you to another website to take away your sensitive information. Likewise, botnets. It is one of the easiest way to take away your sensitive information through that. And the other one is ransomware, which is very prominently heard in the recent past. So ransomware is a kind of malware which can lock your data and files and threaten to leave the files locked or delete when the victim sends a payment. So spyware is one of the other threat which can record the action of a user, such as gathering the credit card information. So Trojan is one of the other popular cyber threat attack happening, which can able to disguise as a legitimate software, which can collect the data of a user without their knowledge. And virus are one most another self-replicating malware, which can attach the file and it can spread the data. I mean, like infection entire systems. So now we're going to look into the main essential checklist which is happening in the cybersecurity internet world. So the most prominent fact which we are using in internet everyday life. So the safe browsing and understanding the difference between HTTPS and HTTP site is utmost important. So when we Google any website, we need to understand the title has to have a HTTPS URL link, which means it is secure than the rest of the other sites. So the other important factor in the cyber world is that having a very strong password. Choosing a good password is very much necessary, and also it should have a basic characteristics like 8 to 10 characters with at least one number and one uppercase and one lowercase letter, and one special symbol is mandatory. And do not use any kind of words which is used in dictionary. And one such case study we have found across in March 2023, one of the popular food chain has gone for a data breach, which has exposed all the personal information of a customer just because they had a very feeble password in their mail ID. The other one common attack is a free Wi-Fi. So when we go for any coffee shop or any common place like a airport or any places, one of the most common Wi-Fi attack is called as man in the middle attack. So where a hacker can monitor all the traffic and all the signals which is sent between two devices and also take away the sensitive information. So one such case happened during in October 2023. One of the hacker group has actually installed a free Wi-Fi scam in a coffee shop, and they have taken all the data of the users. Next is the malicious attachment. So email is still is one of the most important communication tool in all the business organization. The attachment represent a potential security threat for both the parties. So before you open any kind of attachment, always go with the virus scanner and then try opening the attachment. So this one such case study found in early 2023, Emotet malware. It is one of the common malware which has been using for all the spam mails. So a lot of big companies have gone under the same attack. The next is most, as I told you, like email is one of the prominent tool in the business communication, but it has the most easy, vulnerable way of taking away the people's sensitive data, like through phishing, malicious attachment, and also we should know how to use mail in a proper manner. So one such case study is that in June 2023, a group of cyber criminal they have imposed a emoted malware in one of the healthcare organization. They have taken all the patient's record data and all the sensitive information without the knowledge by just sending a phishing email attack. Next is about the removable media. Removable media is one of the common way to move a large amount of data and used to get the saved and all the files. So it is a very easiest way to transfer the data, but is also having poses a lot of cyber threats. So one such case study is that a healthcare organization had a safe record of all the data in a hard drive, wherein when the hardware has been, the hard drive has been moved to another system, all the data has been corrupted and also has been copied by a anonymous user. Next is the unattended computer. Leaving your computer unlocked or unattended for a long time also causes problem. Maybe your colleague can access your sensitive data without your knowledge. So it's always best to lock your system when you move out of the chair. So dumpster diving is one of the other common thread where we just delete a file from our system. We don't go and delete the same file from the recycle bin. So this happened to be a place for all the hackers when they just have access to our system. The first thing what they do is they just go and check our recycle bin and try to retrieve all the data and just take away our information. So computer installation. So we used to get a lot of updates on a regular basis when we do a software or an application. So always make sure you have your system or your mobile phone is softwares are up to date. So which can minimize a lot of security threats and the problems in the near future. So some of the common things, hacks which you need to follow in the email attacks, always use a spam filter, keep all your systems and software up to date, use always a strong password with 8 to 10 characters as we spoke earlier, and change your password regularly. Do not open emails from unknown sources. Do not click any unknown links until it is from a very common person. Do not divulge any sensitive information to unknown source through emails or any other social medium. So, are we still safe? Because nowadays we are accessing mobile phone more than we are using our laptops or systems. So, mobile phones become a mini computers that we can hold our valuable information in terms of professional life and also personal life. So, why it is so important? And a person's digital footprint can reveal so much information about them rather than they can have it. So, it is very extremely important for us to safeguard our mobile security the same way do our laptops and systems. So phone locking. So like how we have mentioned about laptop locking, it is very important to phone lock your system when you have a documents, memos, emails, even your computers. When you just share the data from one mobile phone to another phone, always make sure you have a fingerprint lock or a passcode lock, and make sure it is not known to the very close circle. So social media security and privacy is one of the common factor which has to be implemented and which has to be followed in every place. So always you use a unique password for each social media page, whereas when you use a Facebook or a LinkedIn profile, and always make sure you watch your mailbags and have a spam filter when you have a lot of mails coming by. Don't be too personal, expose all your data in a social media forum, and make sure you lock your devices, and always try blocking spammers either via phishing attack or through wishing they can able to take away your sensitive information, and please avoid fake accounts. Next, some of the tips to protect yourself. Update your software and OS regularly. It can be a normal update coming through your mobile phone or through laptop. And always use an antivirus software. It is even available for mobile phones also. Nowadays, you can go and check your app store for a best antivirus software. Try using strong passwords to protect your social media accounts or any email things. And do not open any email attachment, even from unknown senders, without scanning it before. Do not click any kind of links of the emails from an unknown sender or from an unfamiliar website. Avoid using unsecured Wi Fi network in public places like airport, coffee shop, etc. And one such case study which we found in the marine industry is that recently a Singapore shipbuilder company has gone through a cyber attack, which has have made a huge impact on their financial status. Like they couldn't able to protect their security data because of the unauthorized user gain access. So one such case study is that one of the top marine IT company had a problem with the cyber attack group called Play. They have taken a complete data with the help of ransomware in the December 2022. And the rising threat of ransomware and malicious tools has gone up in the last 5 years. So it is very utmost important for us to have a knowledge about the cyber safety in the organization, and also to it is very important to educate our employees as well. So in terms of like how to use this system in a very safe and secure mode, so it is very important that how do we have a knowledge in the system and how do we implement the same in our office as well. So these are some of the lessons which we learned in the recent past. So every company should have a very good infrastructure in terms of IT. They should have the basic security levels and layers, and also to educate the employees on the basic checklist of cyber security. So security is no longer an option, it is mandatory. With the rising trends of cyber attack and continuous monitoring, security assessments are mandatory for detecting and preventing all these attacks. So thank you. Any questions? I'm open to questions.
She can? You can?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So, I was told that is a very dangerous lady. The reason we sitting in general and good he can
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking. Can you just repeat the question, please?
he can't hear.
I can hear you now. Please.
You have to because then she won't be able to hear the question. Never mind. Let me just continue. Last year,
A very good evening, dignitaries, and the August gathering. It's really always exciting when I come back to the community I belong to. Generally, I am always with the armed forces, but whenever it's a maritime part, I really feel I'm back home. The title says 8 years of journey, but actually my journey started almost 65 years back with my dad. बिहार से एक छोटे से गांव से निकलकर नौसेना में भर्ती हुए and that's where he went to 71 war and he knew he wanted to make his sons captain in the navy. बट हम दोनों भाई में से मैं बड़ा भाई और मैं नालायक था मैं 12वीं में फेल हो गया फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मैथ्स so unfortunately when I failed it compelled my brother also to really work hard and those were the late 90s time also still were references worked for the shipping very well. I'm sure they would be working even today but worked very well so I went out at sea and my younger brother wanted to do civil service. So dad said, एक इतना कमाएगा दूसरा ऐसे कम कमाएगा कैसे guarantee? There is no guarantee, right? If you do a graduation, you will clear the OPSC. There is no guarantee in that. So he was also compelled behind me to go out to sea, and we both went out to sea. And my Nalayaka, as usual, so I took my own time to clear my grades. MMPI and MBS college sir sitting there from there itself. So brother became a master in good 8.5, 9 years. By 25, he was a master. I was still a mate. And he said, Dad, अब मैं civil services करूँ. So he went to Karol Bagh, Hartfield by 6 feet के कमरे में. He started preparing for civil services. And this is where it started clicking me also in. And because what are you doing with your life? Are you going to be like this? Or there has to be a change in your life? So I don't look out for inspiration outside. I look out for inspiration in the family. And I saw my brother. So my eye opener happened when I went to Karol Bagh in the month of Diwali period. You see, it's all foggy and fog out there. And this boy, जो 12वीं पास है, graduation उसने अभी complete करी है, cross while through this phase becoming a master mariner. He had got married also. And I met him, and this was his 4th attempt for civil services. So all his friends had already become a senior master mariner. And this boy said, कि भाई लोग 16 घंटे पढ़ते हैं तो मैं 18 घंटे पढ़ता हूँ लोग 18 पढ़ते हैं तो मैं 20 तो 22 तो 24 के बाद तो 2 घंटा सोना पड़ेगा इतनी बुद्धि भगवान ने मुझे दी नहीं तो ऐसा कहता हूँ इट्स लक यू कीप ट्राइंग एंड कहते हैं कि ये बंदे खुद को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा भी तुमसे पूछे कि बता तेरी रजा क्या है इट वाज हिज लास्ट अटेम्प्ट एंड आई प्राउडली से he went on to become a civil servant. So he is a UPSC, he is an IS grade, serving posted in Ranchi, Jharkhand. Now, when I looked up him and he took up commission in 2016, I said it's time for me also to do something different. And I was looking with dad, I quit dad and I started Sagar Defense Engineering. And by God's grace, Quest Corp came on the idea of autonomous shipping, which you could see here. Quest Corp came to invest money. पैसा तो था मेरे पास बच्चे नेवी का कैप्चर कुछ तो बचा के रखा हूं ऊपर से बिहारी so I said I don't need the money because I was not sure that if they give me also $1 million what I'm going to do with it as usual lost case so along with my 2 other co-founders we said no to that money and we started working in and within 2 years I landed up burning out all my money that I had and I was caught. So what next? So my wife is sitting there. तलाक आदमी बढ़िया से मैंने शादी करी है बहुत पैसा है खानदान में. So I went to my brother-in-law and I said 50% की पार्टनरशिप करेंगे 50% कंपनी आपकी. So he agreed. And this is my $1 million which came in kind. And in the sense is that in your life you need to have that Krishna Bhagwan. So my brother-in-law was my Lord Krishna. He never asked me that what I'm doing with his money, but he always trusted. So a journey from 120 square feet went to a 1200 square feet. From a 1200 it went to a 5000 square feet. From 5000 to 8000. I was talking to Dhruv here and he said, competition to hote hoge business mein. I said, the product which I am building and the technology level where I am working, I don't ask the customer what he wants. I tell the customer what he wants. I think this is the difference over the period of last 8 years as Sagar Defense Engineering, we have been able to create this niche. Learning as a master mariner, I'm very glad that I come from this beautiful fraternity of, from sea. And where we had the honor of sailing with some very old good masters from whom we learned, you don't need to look at the radar. We could actually just look across and say, okay, she's going to cross me over or she's overtaking. And that was the era we come from. That really helped me to scale this product. So while I was doing this across on this journey, the failures did and they do come across. And there was a phase in life when my dad's business went to a debt of 17 crores. He would have been declared NPA a month's time. And these are very important learning lessons of life, to young entrepreneurs also. People who are working want to quit and have to have their own business. And somewhere in 2017, and we had a month of what we could pay the EMI part across. And I went with my dad to Federal Bank at their BKC office. Now this manager said, "Sir, साहब आपके 8 crore के bank loans pay on your mortgages, you have got a loan of close to 16 crores. So what do you have to lose? You're already in profit. So why not go and ask some more?" So we went to the bank. There were around 12 people sitting there. There was one SVP2 there, and a young lady, around 24 years old. She had this poti on dad, and she had opened her books and said, so dad, in his good 60s, 62, he looks up to that young lady and says, "Beta, tumhari umar kitni?" So exactly this happens there. People smile and say, "Uncle," she says 24. बोला तुम रहने ही दो, कंपनी को 24 साल हो गए. Now, important is these lessons in life which I learned with my dad really helped. And this exactly happened in 2019 because we did not have any turnover. We were only developing. We were working and there was no contract in place per se. And came to a situation where we had just 2.5 lakhs left in the bank. And I had no idea what to do. And I didn't want to go to my dad. My wife was actually running the family, the Bank of America, software engineer. So I didn't know what to do. The best lesson I learned from my dad is समझ में ना आए तो सो जाओ, so go to देखो कुछ हो जाएगा. So I did that, and next thing I hear is ONGC is ready to invest in us, and it came at the right time. So at times the stars have to match. We say it's 90% hard work, 10% luck. I would say it's 10% hard work, 90% luck. But that 10% of hard work in a human form is actually 90%. So there was a time in Destiny also in place. So ONGC comes on board, they invest, they take us to the next step. So from a 5,000 square feet, we move to an 8,000 square feet. And in shipping, we say beg, borrow, buy, steal. I follow that very well. So when I needed that 8,000 square feet, so there's a friend of mine, my wife's classmate, की शादी की जगह जहां वो शादी करवाता है. So I said, ये मुझे रेंट पे दे दो 33,000 रुपए पे. And being a builder, he loves cash. I said, I'll give you cash, but take small rent from me. And that's where we used to do all our testing and trials in this place. And there was a small lake next to it. So there we developed our first vessels. As we progressed, God has been kind. Government of Maharashtra, which are in the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, the vision changed at the national level. And we get IDBI Bank, they come and invest in us. That was great. So we raised another 8.5 crores. We moved to the next level. As we progressed, a challenge came up from the government to develop the first weaponized autonomous boat, and we were selected. We were two of the companies we were selected for it. One was a company which was valued over 4,000 crores. Second was Vast, who was valued somewhere around 40 crores with zero turnover. And this is the time we took a leap of faith. The leap of faith was that I went to my investors and I said, could you invest another 35 crores? And if you invest at another 35 crores, I promise you I will get you a contract of over 700 crores. And doing that sales pitch, and it was the toughest sales pitch of my life because I never had a presentation. I just called up on a Friday evening to the investor at 8:30 in the night. and told him over the phone. Next day morning, he calls me and said, Nikunj, are you serious what you're talking about? I said, sir, yes, I'm very serious. All the hard work we have done over these period of 7 years could come out true if you could put in this 35 crores, because that's the money we really look forward. On a Sunday evening, the investor calls up and says, we are in. In 20 days, the money checks into an account. What you saw here a few minutes back, it's the country's first weaponized board. And while I'm talking to you, the government of India is working out a procedure to hand over a contract of more than 700 crores. It doesn't stop there. And I proudly say, as a seafarer, we built the first factory of autonomous unmanned systems in Pune. And I would like to welcome all of you. Please visit. I keep asking seafarers to come and see. Because I'm a simple master mariner, वो भी 12वीं फेल physics, chemistry, maths और 60% बहुत important होते हैं shipping में जाने के लिए मेरे वो भी नहीं थे. We are setting up a second factory, and fortunately we are already out of it even before we have to set. So I think somewhere it's time and space, somewhere it is hard work, and there are a few lines, while I was sitting here, I just read it. जिंदगी में जब तू हार गया, बचाना कुछ भी अपना है, रहेगी अंतिम सांस तक जो वो तेरा सपना है. You have to live your dream. I'm living that dream. हम चौल से आए थे, हमें नहीं पता था कि हम यहाँ पहुंच पाएंगे. But I think it's due to shipping, it's due to this community, it's due to the seawater, and really legends from Dubai sir across sitting here, जिनकी वजह से शायद हम यहाँ पहुंचे. So thank you so much once again, and I hope that many of us come out there and open and put forward the name of Indian maritime community. Thank you.
Thank you for such a detailed. I mean, you actually growing up and how you. I want to ask you one question. आपने 12वीं फेल मूवी देखी है? I think that's inspired with your life. So I would request Mr. Vineet Gupta, MD Anglo Eastern, to join us on the stage, and Captain Stockton. While we give the moment to our Blue Shield. Thank you, sir. We have amongst us Captain Gaurav Bajaj, Associate Vice President, Simulation Products. He's from Delhi. Captain Gaurav Bajaj is a master mariner with a sailing experience of 15 years. He has passed his BSc Nautical Science from TS Chanakya, Mumbai, and completed his post-graduation from the Institute of Chartering and Shipbrokers, London, with over 12 years of experience at ARI. Captain Bajaj is involved with the product management and validation of marine simulation products. He has also been extensively involved He has also been extensively involved in the product validation and testing of integrated marine simulation products, besides handing over simulation systems and providing the training to the simulation users. Captain Bajaj is responsible for project management and validation for cloud-based simulation projects and development of automatic simulation-based assessment modules. He is actively involved in development and validation of new customized simulation modules for various clients across all geographies. Captain Gaurav is responsible for successful completion of various navigation simulation studies for port feasibility, vessel module, and tugs for various renowned clients. He has been leading the OEM integration of real equipment with simulation and ARI digital operation framework that integrates and visualizes data from various live streams and sources. Can we welcome him, please, Captain Gaurav Bajaj?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Great praise and thank you, Shortcut Naval Connection and organizers for inviting me. Uh, TIM technology is something which is in our blood. So I will just have a brief introduction because most of the people I recognize now in the crowd know about AI. So I won't spend too much time on that. I had some slides, but I wanted to see new faces, but I can see that I know everyone. So I would shorten that out. Okay. So ARI is a leading provider for advancements. We do a lot of product development for the latest technologies that we have. We are working on a lot of future technologies, AR, VR, AI solutions. There for 25 years, about 1,000 installations in 50 countries. And we are there headquartered in New Delhi with offices in US and now in Singapore and UK as well. A brief on the products that we have, ranging from oil and gas industry to marine, offshore, mining, construction, you know it, and the cranes as well. So almost 75 simulators and 1,000 installations. I wanted to show you this. What had happened is during COVID, we migrated, I mean, everything was stopped. So we were kind of fixed and everyone's a sword was hanging on the head. Now what? You can't travel, you can't ship, you can't go, you can't train, you can't install. What now? So we took a big leap of faith and we put all our simulators online. Because even the ship owners were facing the same problems. How to send people for training. I mean, we did it in 3 months and it was the greatest challenge. So we deployed everything online and we're proud to say that even after COVID, a lot of people using that technology still they are continuing with their journey. Now the primary topic today, the role of technology in maritime training. So these are the digital suits that we developed over a period of time to help training institutes, assessments. So we had eSIM.cloud where we deployed all our simulators online. We have e-examinations where we deployed everything towards proctoring solutions and conducting the examination, assessments, auto assessments. We migrated into AI Digital, which talks about the digitalization of certification processes. And the last one is digital MPIs, running the full digital MPI, full solution for end-to-end. So as I told you before, I'll skip this because we're talking about the new advancements in technology for training. So use of XR, AR, AI. So we'll touch more in the next slide. For some, this must be a technical jargon. A lot of jargons, looks good. But it all leads to marine solutions, marine simulators, advanced technologies, and assessments. So basically, you are capturing everything, all that data is being fused and presented or analyzed in a different way. I'm sorry for rushing it up because Shocker just gave me a gun that 15 minutes has been reduced to 10 minutes. So sorry about that. Okay. The most exciting part nowadays, people talk about VR. Yes, VR is something which is the most in thing, and I think it is a very practical thing. But we have advanced more than that. Now we talk about VR, AR, XR. So what is VR XR? So VR is you are transported in the virtual world. AR is something where you are working in a real world, but you have assistive technologies like heads-up displays on cars, or even heads-up displays on vessels as well nowadays. Now, XR is a very exciting technology we are working on, and we have already done a bridge simulation and crane simulation on that. So XR basically means that once you are looking up, you are looking at the virtual world, and you can even earmark an area whereby you can actually see the cameras are there on the opposite side, and you can see the real world as well. So it's blending of both the worlds. So that's a very practical solution for all the systems that will come in place for training. Some screen grabs for how important a VR solution can be from, especially for cadets who have never gone on board. So for them, this is like a boon because they can now see the whole engine room. They can do some limited operations, operating of panels, pumps, walkthroughs on deck, in tanks, or in engine room. So it's a wonderful thing. I mean, the feedback that I've got from the training institute where we have interacted who are using these technologies is just amazing. Couple of more screen grabs on that. Live boat launching. Maximum accidents are taking place there, so we can use VR or AR technologies for that as well. eSIM.cloud I just talked about. So this, what we did with the eSIM.cloud is when we deployed all the simulators online, we gave accessibility. So things which were not accessible to students, to people, so this is 24/7 available. So technology is helping the training that a person can train, or I mean, even late nights or any free time, they can actually access this and do the training themselves. So it's a self-learning mechanism. And plus, you get exposure because on board vessels, cadets normally are put on decks. I don't know now, but previously it was. I think they get some time on bridge nowadays. It's a part of their tar books. Now, this is the latest that we have developed considering the assessments or the trainings that take place. So this product is called ASBA. So ASBA is, there can be a lot of words for it, automated scenario-based assessment, even adaptive scenario-based assessment. We have all lived through, let me say, NCTs, audio, video, these type of questions that we're so used to doing it, whether for training or whether for assessments. But now let's go to another world where we have the smart systems to give you smart questions or get a knowledge out of it and get the human element out of it. So how we can do that? So these are basically adaptive questions which are scenario based. So instead of just say ABCD, probably you will be presented with a table or a log or an indicator card, and you have to analyze what it is, what is the problem. This is something that you'll be doing on board. So when you are seeing an alarm log, when you're seeing all these different logs in engine room or on the bridge, situations can be dynamically generated. There's no fixed database. It's on the fly. You can, and there's no fixed database. You can just generate the scenarios themselves. So this is how we developed the methodology, how we supposed to do things. So we followed. We also have a maritime training institute. So we took guidance from our teachers as well. What difficulties they are facing, what kind of questions or what kind of training or what kind of tools they would like to incorporate in their training solutions. So this is something we learned from them, we got the feedback, and we thought, let's implement this. Let's try something new. So as you can see, you can have MCQs, no problem. But you can also have progressive MCQs. I mean, a human element is being taken into place. It is analyzing what you're answering, and the next question will change. So every person will have a different question depending on their personality traits. So it will never be the same. Everyone is getting a different question. If I ask all the radar questions very smoothly, why should I ask radar to them? Let's go to another level. Or we identify their personal human tendencies also, the risk-taking ability through these questions. So that is how it is being very creative, adaptive, and these are controlled randomization questions and very unique ones. The whole methodology depends on learning and assessment. So we have two modules. One is a learning mode and one is an assessment, which can be supervised or unsupervised. So automated, it can be deployed online, it can be self-learning as well. So all types of solutions are possible in this. So this is one of the situations which is a macro simulation, which means now you are going above. You're first doing the probably a smart questions, then probably operating a machinery, then probably operating a plant, and then you go to the fixed exercise. This may not be a simulator, it could be a smaller exercise of say 30 minutes. And totally self-assessed, automatic assessments. The results will be appearing to the instructor. He can check it anytime. Incident replication. So for some of you, this is a very familiar thing that came in the news for a very long time. So we give it a try. We try to replicate it. This is something we could. So this kind of accident replication we have been doing this for many companies with their learning mechanisms. They can do a self-training. The best part is they can put thousands of seafarers on the same scenario and check. I mean, how they will behave on a similar situation. These are some augmented real-time sensor views. Okay, this is a very new concept we are working on, an interesting one. Normally, this is there in the airline industry, where you are getting all the data, and normally a training center is probably next to an ATC. So you are piggybacking and you are replicating the real scenarios. So we are trying to get this data ashore, which many companies are doing now, especially after this decarbonization. So after that, what will happen is we will put, say, senior cadets before they pass out, or maybe afterwards if they have like junior officers. They can work on this live data and we can recreate live situations based on that data. So whatever you are getting on the AIS, the situation can be created on the fly, and they can do analysis on the performance as well. The performance is right now limited to, I would say, shipping companies in their offices with their performance guys. But this should be extended in our view to the other students as well. They know so little about decarbonization with so much data that is coming in, they can't really do anything. So this is for them to understand in their early years what is the importance of data, how it can improve the efficiency, and they're bright minds in India. I mean, you put them at this early age, I'm sure many bright minds or many startups will pop in afterwards. These are some of the assessments solutions that are possible with full proctoring, multi-camera integration, room integration. So these technologies will be increasingly being used for assessments as well. So one part is training and one part is the assessment. So these systems we have already done one e-examination with the Honorable Ministry of Shipping. So we have done this POC pilot project with them, and the written exam was taken with some people at the examination center, like Honorable DG was talking about it in the morning. So it's a very new system, but it takes time to adapt. But very solid checks and balances are in place. Technology, half hour. So okay, no problem. So left part is probably blanked out. Basically, we talk about capturing all the data through all the sensors, whether it's HMIs, we talk about audio sensors, video sensors. So all the data is collected together and analyzed, and then an appropriate output is taken out. So this can be used for human or behavior analysis for training or assessments. These are the new solutions that are going to come in place. So all the traditional simulators that were used for training now will also have the same layer of proctoring and capturing of data through all these sensors. So you can see the human behavior, which probably some lady on the side was actually writing it down on the notes will probably come from an AI model. So a human behavior aspect will also come in addition to the training that we do. And these systems are available now. I mean, it's affordable now comparatively. So these are the new systems that I told you that we can actually integrate. You can run systems in hybrid mode, some people in offices, some people at home, or they can be all a part of the same team. That's all for question. I think, Shaukat, I'm before time. Thank you. And so thanks a lot for giving the opportunity. And there are a lot of technical advancements that are taking place, and we assure you that we are a part of it, and we are doing a lot. Probably that is coming next 10 years ahead as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Bajaj. I would request Captain Deepak Korea, CEO, Elegant Marine Services, please join us on the stage to felicitate. And Captain Shaukat. Our next speaker is Mr. Saurabh Kumar, Head of Technical Operations, Mumbai. He speaks of the impact of efficiency measures on decarbonization. Mr. Saurabh Kumar comes from a non-marine family heritage. He completes his studies at Kolani Maritime Institute in 2006, after which he began with Chevron, where he worked in various positions on their VLCC until 2013. That was after obtaining his MEO Class 1 certification. Driven by curiosity, he transitioned to offshore DP vessels, serving as the chief engineer with Great Ship India. In 2017, he moved to an onshore role in Mumbai as a QSSE manager, focusing on technical aspects of quality assurance. His journey then took him to Varuna Tankers in Jakarta in 2020, where he was involved in vessel management, looking after 18 oil tankers. Recently, he joined the Maersk Tanker family and the NEON and currently managing technical operations for ESG assessment and vessel retrofit projects. Can I request Mr. Saurabh Kumar to please join us here?
Good evening, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here to speak in a forum, which is targeting technology in marine, and this I hold very dear to because over the years when I am sailing, the drive was to have something different, approach toward doing the same thing but in a different way, in a more effective. What is new that we can do? And all this achievable today only because the foundation that was laid in the shipping industry, not only in India, across the globe, by the people, very people sitting in this. With all the layers that we are putting on, the pressures and demands that it's currently bestowed upon the shipping community, is sustainable because the foundation is. I represent New York, which is part of most tankers, and we are an emerging consultant, basically. That means we have done enough mistakes in most tankers, and now we are in a position to suggest that how you can avoid such mistakes on your journey towards decarbonization. Moving on, I will just share a short introduction about what Nord is, and as a company, how long we have existed. So this is the offshoot of most tanker fuel optimization team. And as a separate company, we exist for now around just more than 2 years. I have joined the company quite recently, over just 7 months now. And it's amazing journey and inputs that we see across the engagement across the world actually, and how amazing it is to interact and challenge the views of people toward energy saving and reducing fuel consumption. Not only focusing on the efficiency, but also on fuel mixes and alternate energy sources. So I know, I mean, we are firm believers that there's a lot of potential in shipping as of today, where the age is average age is quite high, 15 years plus. So we see a lot of potential of decarbonization. Firm believer not to decarbonize the power at the end of the day, only in the fuel side. Actually. Moving ahead, in today's scenario, what do we know and are things that are uncertain? So we know the climate targets that are ahead of us. To save the planet, we have to limit to 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature rise since the pre-industrialization era. And the guidelines that IMO has set for 40% reduction of these greenhouse gases. Then the next known fact is the popularity of all the drive from all the nations toward carbon taxation on shipping and offshore. Of course, shipping contribution is quite less, but then the impact of this 3.5% on remaining 95 is a lot. And that is one reason why it is so much important for this 3.5% contribution to reduce much faster and efficiently, so that rest of the world can follow and the full supply chain can come under control. Of course, there are unknowns. We have seen in the last 2 years how a simple or a complicated, coronavirus can impact the food industry. Regional politics and collaboration changes can shift how nations want to safeguard their energy requirement. There was coal has been revived in Southeast Asia after the recent war and engagements in Russia and Ukraine. Some commitments are lined up which indicate that the world is moving towards 110% fossil fuel production until 2030, which is disheartening, but yeah, it's a reality. That's the commitment which engagements which are there on all the oil companies and oil majors. I would like to draw attention to one of the graphs that Musk Water team, which analyzes zero carbon fuels and projections have made. If you look at this, if we continue as we are today, not taking any action, we will deviate to more than 2 gigatons production of CO2, which will be almost twice what we are by 2050. If we want to target at least to be at the same level what we are today, that contribution can come from efficiency, but it's not enough. What we want to do is net zero. That's where we will be, we should be, to ensure our future generations are safe and they can still sustain on this planet. And for that, the contribution has to come from fuel mixes as well. But the battle cannot be won alone by fuel or by efficiency. They have to go hand. There are uncertainty around what fuels will survive in the future, how their availability will change, what will make more business sense. So while the world figures this out, supply chains are established. The projection until 2030 at least is to have a 70% contribution from efficiency towards decarbonization. This is a fuel transition which is being projected from S&P Capital. So as of today, around 100,000 vessels in the world approximately consume 300 million metric tons of fuel. And the contribution, as we see, is majorly on VLSFO, LGO, partially on HFO, and LNG for sure is gaining. But towards the progression of net zero, by 2050, the graph would look much different, where we see a lot of contribution from low carbon fuels, alternate sources, renewable. And if you look at the graph, the line graph below, the actual movement is expected to have to start by 2030, when we have a lot of clarity on which fuel is safer, is efficient, and technologically available to exploit, energy wise. And as of now, we don't have. LNG is gaining, but then we have issues like methane split from LNG, which causes more damage. The methane is more greenhouse potent than CO2. So a lot of things are uncertain. The data is still being built up. So while we wait for all these things to transpire, we have proven data and track record of energy efficiency devices that existed in this world for now 15 years or so. And there are additional equipments or technologies being added every day actually. Just looking at the bunker distribution, I mean, just three quotes I have taken again from S&P Capital, very good infographic. If you look at Fujairah, Singapore, and Rotterdam, and look at the alternate fuel bunkering contribution of these bunkering ports, hardly any movement on alternate fuel bunkering compared to VLSFO. It's not there. It cannot sustain, and even I'll say oil majors like Shell, Chevron, who have dual fuel engines, they don't operate on it. They themselves find it difficult to secure this, and the planning has to be done at least 60 days in advance if you want to secure such a bunker. Charters and most of the captains today will agree, we don't know 1 week before also, or maybe a day before also, where we are heading to. So how can you plan in such a scenario, and to what cost? Would it make a business case or business sense to survive? Only looking for the world and the betterment of the environment, the business will just collapse. So major contribution, as I said, is ashore. 97% of emission comes from shore. So and over there, the major drive from most of the world countries is towards power generation or decarbonization. So data from 2020 to 2022 is quite haywire because of a lot of things happening in the world. If we look at viable data until 2020, we can see clear shift. Fossil fuel dependencies are going down. It will not disappear, but for sure it will come to single number percentage. Dependencies on renewable and low carbon is excessively increasing, and low carbon and renewables, the gap is also short. So these are the future on the power generation side, and as we produce more electricity ashore, governments will push for more electrification ashore. And in the future, near future, I would say, this will trickle down to vessels and port operations, where ships would be required or encouraged to go to cold ironing, even in ports in India and across, not only limited to Europe or US. Again, coming back to this graph, while all this uncertainty is there existing, until 2030, if we want to reduce our fuel consumption, bring down the shipping cost and logistics, the go-to place is efficiency. Things are already there. They have been tried and tested. It just requires a different approach. And that is where new technologies like data logging, high-speed data comes into play. Where Nord is building upon an experience of data being collected after these installations were done individually. And then we analyze a unique combination of technologies available, which will be applicable to that particular vessel for that particular trade, and will bring down the fuel consumption drastically. So these technologies are not new. Maybe few of them are. This is the ship model, and it is on our website also. It indicates a lot of technology, as you can see, very basic, from changing the lights to LED, to the extent of having a carbon capture unit installed. So engagement from 30,000 until plus of 3 million. So a lot of things are there. We can improve as on date. We have proven and recorded data where we can enhance the hull performance, propeller performance. We can enhance the engine SFOCs. We can make the voyages more efficient. So not only technical, it also encourage and empower the shore team to have a better operation profile, optimize the operation for them. As on date, the ship owners are burdened with CI, EXI, carbon taxation, and in the midst of that, the day rates are a big challenge. To maintain all this, we have to analyze how and what we choose. It's not 1+1. It is a combination that matters. And if you put everything on your ship together in one go, I mean, it is not something that you start producing fuel the second day. No, it's a combination that matters. There are technologies which work very well when installed together. There are some which negate each other. So zone where you are, Europe, okay, carbon taxation is there. You focus on each and every ton of carbon. Next year it will be US dollars. So we can analyze, target specific requirements which the vessel owner has or might have in the future, and combination of these technologies something that can achieve a fuel saving, overall fuel saving. On an average, we see these tend to be mostly part of the packages that sometimes it excludes and includes a few of them. Very basic data logging is quite popular these days, also because of the validation required on the carbon taxation side. LED light, very simple, low hanging. VFD has been variable frequency drives for the pumps and fans, has been there for since I started saving. So it has been already like a lot of data and saving potentials are identified. Going ahead, lube oil filters for main engine, auxiliary engine, which not only have energy saving but indirect impact on engine operations and bringing down the operational cost. We have very popularly being installed across is a PDCA, propeller boss cap fin, various forms of ducts, propeller cleaning technologies, which when installed will not require a cleaning at least for 2 to 3 years. Main engine optimization to have the voyages more towards constant power. As on date, most of the conventional ship, our engines are RPM dependent and governed. So trying to shift it to the power governance. Choice of a particular paint depending upon where you are and what trades you do, what speeds you're doing. Trim optimization based on what speeds you are currently targeting or trying to achieve. Mostly it is for ships who are containers on the higher side of the spectrum, I would say. But still, all this is not something that you can just pick and install. It has to be analyzed for a particular uniform, engine make, model, propeller type, and your training. Some might make sense to you, some might not take a make sense. So just say if we go by this basic 10 technologies, what would you expect on a vessel? So we have seen across multiple, as of today, 187 engagements, vessel wise, and owners wise, more than 50 engagements. Yeah. So we have seen 7 to 16% savings that can be achieved on fuel. And mind you, this is the total fuel saving, annual fuel saving. And it is not particularly limited to a type of vessel across bulk carriers or LNG. We see the ROIs, return of investment, in the range of 1. Of course, these choices will change if you pick novel technologies, if you pick air lubrication or something, the ROIs go up. But still, it is within limits. And with this, I will end my presentation. It was quite limited. And since it is the last quarter, I've been told by my commercial, any further data sharing has to be commercially agreed. So please feel free to connect with us, and there's much more to explore. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Saurabh. I request Mr. Megraj from PRI to the honors. Mr. Megraj from PRI. Saurabh. We have Captain Rajendra, CEO E-Dot Solutions. He founded in 2004. E-Dot Solution is dedicated in using technology for making maritime trade safer, more efficient, cost effective, as well as more comfortable for citizens.
So you want to? Yeah.
From tracking solutions to cargo testing labs to cybersecurity solutions to training methods, E-Dot Solution has only one goal: merge philosophy and technology. With the nuisance of maritime trade for the benefits of the seafarer. Ruchan is a master mariner, ex-chairman of the CMMI Goa, fellow of the IIMS UK, associate fellow of the Nautical Institute London, and surveyor of SAMS America, and a member of AIMS Australia. His articles may be found on the internet of the Seaways magazine, Command, Mary, as well as in the Report magazine of the IIM E-Dot Solution, is a member of WIMCO. Certified by Class NK, MEAT for their training. Certified by VE under ISO 27001. Certified by IR Class under ISO 21001. Certified by DEC under ISO 9001. The E-Dot Marine Laboratory is approved by the DGS, certified by NABL under ISO 17025. Mr. Ruchan can be contacted on the email at ruchan@e-dot-solutions.com. Can I request Captain Ruchan to join us on the stage, sir?
Series of events depicted in the following video will be familiar to most deck officers who have navigated in the South China Sea. The fishing traffic is dense to an extent that there are times when the sea is lit up like a city and merchant ships make their way through this maze, managing to be just a few cables away, sometimes by sheer chance. Have you ever thought how dangerous this could be? Especially if this is accepted to be an ordinary norm and watchkeeping is taken for granted. In this particular incident, and an inefficient lookout failed to identify and judge correctly close quarters situation. Also the cause of fall. Forward on the fall. Also the cause of fall. Resulting in the collision of two cargo vessels. Sheer negligence coupled with failure to use the bridge equipment optimally caused extensive damage to both ships, loss of time, loss of face for the company, and the ship staff involved. This video aims at drawing your attention to strict implementation of the passage plan, effective use of bridge watchkeeping resources such as efficient lookouts, correct use of bridge equipment, watchkeeping alarms, practice alarm settings to be correctly set as per the passage plan, same to be continuously monitored in a high traffic density area. Join me while I will take you through this incident. Let's try and grasp a hold of how crucial each role of duty is in ship navigation operations to ensure safety and security of the vessel and the crew.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am Ruchan.
And David, why?
Before we go on to tell you why we showed you this video, I would like to introduce my team in Goa. We are 65 professionals in Goa, and this is what we do. We do 20 years, we have done 20 years of software development. We do apps. We are digitization partners of many shipping companies. We do a lot of work where many of our apps are commercially uploaded on the Google Play Store or the App Store. We are considered as cybersecurity, maritime cybersecurity pioneers. We started work long before the industry in 2016, 2017, and we are approved by Class NK for our cybersecurity initiatives. But here's what we want to talk about today. We are very passionate about learning and using technology where learning is concerned. We are very hesitant to use the word training. Devki will tell you more a little later. So what do? We have our own learning management system, and not to be lost with so many already floating around the maritime landscape. Ours is different. We believe in storytelling. We believe in engaging, immersive content. We believe in culture. And of course, Gaurav is giving such an excellent presentation that I've had to change mine at the last minute at the risk of complete duplication. So we are partners with Godzilla, and we do primarily everything that they do. Just that our head office is in Finland and good ship from Sweden. But thank you, Gaurav, for the excellent presentation. And much of what we do is, of course, approved by Class NK. So the reason I said why we are so hesitant to use the word training is because this is what we have become. We are over here, I'm sure there'll be so many people who talk about mental wellness. And this is what the seafarer is. Basically, he is tired of training. He's tired of training because training is now getting to his nerves. So many companies are giving their seafarers a mental app, for their mental wellness app. But the irony of it is that even the app requires training. You've got to be trained to understand the science. You've got to be trained to understand the state of mind. You've got to be trained to understand how other seafarers are feeling. Are they feeling isolated? Are they lost? So training is something of a complete burden today, if I may call it. And with due respect to so many of the stalwarts here and gurus and my mentors who are now looking at different training and learning solutions, well, we believe in just two simple things. Training is essential, of course, because technology is changing, and we need to leverage skill to operate technology, leverage it with risk. I mean, just the other day there was some discussion on a group saying, yeah, mere mate ko, he doesn't even know there are dimming tables. All right, but you still have to load in the lakes, no? So how are you trimming? So is replacing trimming tables with a small app on your notebook, is that wrong or is that right? Well, as long as you can leverage it with the risk, because it's mathematics. And if you are going to use technology, then of course the risk of error should be less as long as you can leverage it with the risk. So to do this, to fulfill the skill gap, whether it's dual fuel engine or whatever, methanol, ammonia, whatever is coming now, or the new reflective learning methods of your ECDIS, where an AI-generated radar fix is being produced on your ECDIS, and next day you will be told as to how much was the difference between your fix and the AI-generated fix. So if that kind of training, yes, but how? So we believe completely in simulation, which Gaurav very nicely, he told us as to what all we can do with simulation. But what about the rest? What about the rest? How come the pilot ladder incidents? How come the enclosed space entry deaths? How come those are not decreasing? So we at EDOT, we believe it is culture. It is just culture. And how is culture created? In my opinion, through storytelling. So whether it was Bunyad at one point of time, whether it was Ramayana serial, Bollywood, or all the epics and all the holy books, that is where culture is created, by telling stories. That is how we got culture at home. And of course, to some extent, by experiencing behavior. What you experience in a company, at home, in the society, that is what builds culture. So we at EDOT are just into two kinds of things where learning is concerned. One, providing the best quality technology where simulation is concerned, and then telling effective stories so that you retain, the seafarers retain what we tell them. Practical competency developed by simulation and then engaging storytelling. Devji?
Talking of engaging storytelling for conditions reflects. Yes, because learning is a voluntary process. Learning shapes habits and behaviors. Learning is a product of the activity of the learner. Learning does not necessarily happen only because training is available or accessible. Most of our early years, we have a teacher-driven learning process happening. But after we pass out college, most of the learning that we get, it comes from intent and it comes from being involved. And this process influences our habits, behaviors, and shapes our actions at work. And behavior at workplace is a product of habits formed through learning. Very often at work, what is normal behavior gets termed as casual behavior because it stands in the way of a call of duty. Why? Purely because of our habits. And if you ask me how, let's have a look at this.
The pen drive loaded with movies from his friend from the ship Chandlers. The vessel exits coastal waters and is in open seas. All on board are winding down after a very hectic port stay. The second mate is finalizing his passage plan on the Navbox PC. The chief mate, having seen the bosun receiving the movies, borrows it to download movies onto his personal laptop. When the second mate goes down for a beer, the chief mate also feels relaxed and excited about the movies on his borrowed pen drive. He gives in to the temptation and plugs the pen drive into the Navbox PC. The viruses from this external pen drive get transferred to the Navbox PC. When the second mate comes back, he plugs the nav stick into the Navbox PC and the virus from the now infected Navbox PC travels into the nav stick. The nav stick is then plugged into egg disk 1, and it's obvious that the virus is now transferred to egg disk 1.
So one egg dish was infected, and very often they have this practice of syncing both the egg dishes. Now, what would happen if the second mate would sync egg dish 1 with egg dish 2? You all know the answer, but I'm not here to talk about that. What we have seen here is normal behavior becoming casual behavior, going against the call of duty. Now, what are the reasons for this? One, due to lack of knowledge, or two, due to the habit of early gratification. So, what is early gratification? When we seek to give in to temptation, to seek pleasure, and against our rules, against our regulations, that comes from habit, and that habit is the habit of early gratification, much against delayed gratification, where one would wait for the appropriate moment and then probably go to his room, plug his pen drive into his personal laptop, and then access the movies that were loaded onto the pen drive. Now, whatever the reason may be, Here, what we need is conditioning of the mind. So, hence, for conditioning of the mind, what we require is storytelling. How storytelling using technology can be a game changer? Facts tell, stories tell. And since we are into observing behavior for storytelling, we have seen, we were sitting at the back and I observed that when Captain Nikunj Parashar, he was giving his presentation, everybody was paying attention because he had a story and that engaged everyone. That's the point that we're trying to make. So by facts tell, stories tell, what we're trying to tell you is that stories convince people. The second thing that storytelling can do is enhance learning outcomes and better retention of the information that we're trying to project to any audience that we approach, in our case, our seafarers. So we bring to you learning solutions using technology to enrich knowledge and create a culture of learning where habits become conditioned reflexes using storytelling. We do it with LMS, simulations, and storytelling. That's all from us.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
May I request Mr. Amin Martin, Des Marie, and Mr. Shadab join us, please? Our next speaker is Captain Dhruv Chaudhary, CEO and co-founder Shipstart. With over a decade of professional experience in the maritime sector as a seafarer, Captain Dhruv, CEO and co-founder of Shipstart, encountered first-hand challenges pertaining to purchasing and procurement process. Identifying a substantial need for an Amazon-like platform tailored for the shipping industry, he envisioned Shipstart in 2017. Captain Dhruv's extensive tenure in the field stands as a cornerstone for the company's advancement, stemming from his profound understanding of the ground level associated with purchasing concerns. His role revolves around spearheading the business development strategies of the company. This depth of experience and keen insight into the industry's operational dynamics significantly contributes to Shipstart's growth and evolution. Request everyone to join in to welcome Captain Dhruv with a huge round of applause, please. I don't see the energy, guys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, would like to thank Captain Shaukat for having us again. This is my second time at TIM, and it's always a pleasure being here. So thank you, Captain Shaukat and the team. I think there's been a lot of emphasis on storytelling, and people before me have done a commendable job. So I think there's a lot of pressure and nervous energy inside me right now that how I'm going to fare in the next 5-10 minutes. So but yes, I would like to share my story about Shipstart and how the idea came about. And thereafter, obviously, I'll have some slides to share with you. I've been a sailor myself and I've sailed for about 14 years. And in those 14 years, I always thought that I was very misfit at sea. I mean,
I was there just because I was getting a good handsome salary and which was obviously fulfilling my needs at home. But I always thought that I wanted to do something of my own. I did start a management company back in 2013, which was doing fairly well, but wanted to do something more substantial. A friend of mine, again a seafarer, started a company, and during one of the evenings that we met, he mentioned to me that there should be something like an Amazon for shipping. And I remember that idea got stuck onto me, that an Amazon for shipping, and I started to think more and more about it. Uh, However, I very candidly remember this signing up for buying the domain of shipscart.com the same night that we met, thinking that sooner or later I will start this company with this name. I wanted to buy shipcart.com, which wasn't available that time, so I went ahead and bought shipscart.com, not knowing how I'm going to do it, who will be the partners, not knowing what lies ahead of us. I just got going with the domain. When I was sailing, most of the sailing that I've done is as a chief officer, and during those 35 months as a chief officer, uh, you have to ensure that you have everything that the ship requires for its operational use. So that involves a lot of procurement. So I had to ensure that the stores are regularly ordered, the provisions are regularly ordered, and all of this, including a lot of crewing and inventory management, was done on Excel sheets. And my idea was to build an Amazon for the maritime industry, to move beyond Excel sheets, to digitalize the whole procurement process, the creating of requisitions, approving of orders, and connecting with vendors all digitally online. That was the first thing that we wanted to achieve. Secondly, India has about 35,000 ships that come to India every year. And if you ask anybody who's the topmost ship supplier in India, you will never get an answer, because Mumbai will have a topmost ship supplier, Cochin will have another ship supplier, Gandhidham or Gujarat will have another ship supplier, but there's no pan-India ship supplier, not a one-stop shop. So we wanted to do that as well. But obviously, everything revolves around money. You need to have money you need to have deep pockets to build these warehouses pan-India. For a market which is as big as $100 billion worldwide and $200 million in India and growing, it's quite unfortunate that we are still stuck up with Excel sheets. Though the ships and the shipping companies face many challenges, I'd like to highlight three major challenges from this slide. Whenever we go to Amazon or Flipkart, or we buy something for our own house or for ourselves, we will check the brand name, we will check the reviews and ratings, we will go a step further and maybe contact the seller also, check the reviews of what people have written and then buy it. But unfortunately, we don't do this for the shipping company we're working for, because the ship supplier does not provide you the brand name for normal consumables. It does not provide you the images, and there is not a great deal of product description, right? Why? Because this is done on Excel sheets or ERP softwares which do not provide such information. I've always believed, shipping is obviously a very time-sensitive job, and the purchase team is also very busy, handling hundreds of RFQs every month, connecting with suppliers all around the world in different time zones, onboarding these suppliers day in, day out, onboarding their bank details, and so on. So it is a very sort of a thankless job. Day in, day out, you're doing these things. And that's what sort of led to the inception of Shipscart. To create digitally create an e-commerce platform wherein you have a reliable partner who can supply you quality in a timely manner, all in a digitalized way. So this is what we basically did. We're the first company in the world to have actually made an app through which captains can now create requisitions, companies can approve these requisitions and convert it into purchase orders, and vendors can put all the data that they have, put all the quotations all on the app itself. Obviously, you can use the web platform that we have, but an app, you can do all of this through a mobile phone. Now, this is something I'm most excited about, and obviously, I came here last time, and at that time, this was not something which we were doing. Now, when you go to shipscart.com next month, I would want to say maybe December end, you will see a complete Amazon-like open-ended website. So we are starting off this by 1st of January, where you will find 20,000 odd products, which will have prices, brand names, images, description of product, and ratings of vendors, rating of the product, all of that in an open-ended, transparent way. So like how you go to Amazon, you go to Shipscart, and you'll be able to see everything. Obviously, it's a double-edged sword. You openly declare how much you're selling it for, can actually work for you or might not work for you. So yes, but we are going out with this. You'll be able to see this platform live next month, and we'll be going from starting off with India, and then we'll be moving around and target the next biggest 20 maritime countries. How are we going to do this? Because you require a lot of data for this. At present, Shipscart is delivering orders across 70 countries. So we are doing a monthly sales of about 8 to 9 crore rupees, about 1.1 to 1 million US dollars every month, and we are supplying across 50 countries every month. So what we get a lot of data. We have vendors quoting us for various products. We have vendors mentioning the brand names for various products, and we are collating all that information, giving it to our catalog team, and putting it online. So in the next 1.5 years, you will see a website which will have 50,000 products, pricing, brand names, pictures across 50 countries, the biggest maritime countries. And all you'll have to do is integrate at shipscart.com with your existing ERP software. So procurement will be hassle-free. You'll know what you're buying and you'll get what you bought. Just to come back here, we now have 4 warehouses in Chennai, Gujarat, Mumbai, and Cochin. We'll be opening 2 more in Visakhapatnam and Calcutta. As I said, as it just written here, that we're doing about 40% of our revenues coming from India, and 60% of our revenue is coming from outside India. As I said, that the idea is to capture 50% of the market share from India. And I think with the one-stop shop solution that we are offering, we'll be able to achieve that in the next 1.5 to 2 years. So we've grown in numbers, obviously in revenue. Obviously, being a technology company, you require a lot of IT people also. So we're growing in sense of increasing our manpower. This is a picture of our warehouses. We are slowly building the capacity of our warehouses also. When we build a warehouse, we not only take start with provisions, but we also have started stocking consumable products. We've started operating cold storages from within the warehouse. So here we have everything that a ship would require stocked in a warehouse, and we supply 24/7. One of the things, and one of the happy things that I feel very proud about is our investors. So I was just telling Captain Nikunj that one of our investors, Betatron, who actually invested in us back in 2020, invested about $225,000 that time. It was a huge thing for us to be getting about 1.5 crore rupees. Never sort of seen that much money in a company. So it was a huge deal. And just recently, in fact, last month, they took a partial exit from the company. And we gave them a 8x exit. So they invested about $225,000, and we gave them an exit of about $1.5 million. So something that I will feel very proud about. We are not the normal conventional startup which is burning investors' money and just taking money for gaining traction and not giving anything, not giving them anything in return. We've built a substantial business and profitable business. We are a profitable company. Plus, we have a bunch of other investors like DMV. DMV is Trailmix Ventures. They are a US-based venture capitalist fund, which is headed by Marina Hatchett Trust, who basically comes from the Torian LPG family. Plus, we have Shreyas Shipping here, who they have their family office in Wami Capital, and Motion Ventures. Motion Ventures is a VC fund which is funded by the likes of MOL, Williamson, and others. These are some of our key clients. In India, possibly we're working with all the topmost shipping companies, and this is our global client list. I've always been told by my father that if you want to move faster, walk alone, but if you want to move further, walk together. So very pleased with the fact that we've got some amazing mentors and investors who've held our hands and walked that path with us. We've got, as I said, that Venus here on our board, Mr. Murli Krishna, who owns about 30-40 shares. He's invested in the company. We have Mr. Venkataraman Sheshashayi, who's former CEO of a prominent shipping company and former DMT student. Then we have Suin. I don't think she requires any introduction she's very prominent in the maritime circle. And when you do work with your friends, I think the work becomes easy. So Sunny and Vivek have been my friends for about 20 odd years. So yeah, this is our journey. This is our story. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I'm here for the time being for the next 2-3 hours. So thank you.
Request, and thank you for the right. But there's a quick question. Does Flipkart have an annual sale like Amazon? Okay. Can I request Captain Priyank Mishra, Principal of Management, to join us here, please? Captain, please.
काय माहितीये डाउनलोड करायचंय ना
Thank you, Captain Priyank. Well, our next speaker on the panel is Captain Vinod Naveen, Executive Council Member, Nautical Institute, London. It's my privilege to introduce Captain Vinod Naveen, a stalwart in maritime domain, whose journey is a testament to dedication and expertise. Having embarked on his maritime career as a cadet with SR Cisco, Captain Naveen navigated the seas on dry cargo ships, honing the skills with industry giants like MSC and Maersk Line, ultimately mastering the role of a ship's master. Transitioning ashore in 2009, he ventured into management with TransAsia Lines as AGM and Marine Superintendent. Cultivating a wealth of operational knowledge, his passion for education led him to helm a DG Training Institute as its head, followed by the role of at IMU as an associate professor. Presently at the campus director steering the Kochi campus, Captain Naveen continues to inspire and guide the maritime community with his extensive experience and profound insights. He is an ambassador of the Nautical Institute, spreading its vision and membership right across. Today, he represents NI and will be speaking on Nautical Institute initiative to promote growth in maritime. Before we welcome Captain Vinod Naveen on the stage, I would request Captain Shankar to say a few words.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Captain Naveen, please. Yeah, before I welcome him on stage, I just wanted to, I heard Nikul speak and then I heard Dhruv speak. एक चीज मुझे common लगा. Even Nikul says, I was never cut out for, in my childhood days, in physics, chemistry, maths, I was never cut out for shipping and I got 700 crores out of it. And then now Dhruv says, I was never cut out of shipping, cut out for shipping, $2.7 million. So I want to tell these cadets, I want to ask them, are you cut out for shipping? And if they say yes, then successful नहीं हो गया आप लोग. You cannot be cut out of for shipping and then only you will be successful. So this is not the message, but yeah, out of the box thinking. Like the other day, I was in a bank, I was sitting down and I was hearing the manager was very furious. कोई तो आप लोग inside the box think करो यार. We've got so much of out of the box thinking. Some of the people really wonder who's going to think inside the box. So the reason I'm not here to cut jokes, but the reason I'm here is I want to open arms and welcome Naveen come on the way. Kochi, like many of you have come from outside Mumbai to speak. But Nautical Institute, this is one of the only events perhaps Nautical Institute is a partner. And the other day I was taking an interview of John Lloyd, and John was supposed to be here himself. And like Naveen will point out, I have a video of John Lloyd which will play after Naveen speaks. But when I see the WhatsApp messages and everywhere, Naveen is everywhere. So I think we should give a round of applause to Nautical Institute. I'm sort of privy to what they do in India and their membership drives. And I want you to say, and I don't know whether I'm taking your thunder, but I want to say they've just opened up their doors to free student memberships. So now students all over India can become members of Nautical Institute free of cost. So that's huge. So although it's a technology conference, it's not going to talk about technology as such, but yes, a lot of technology infusion which is done by Nautical Institute. So Naveen, thank you so much for this. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Good evening. I think when Leah read out my profile, it was the shortest of all the speakers. Captain Shaukat is very happy. He thinks my presentation is going to be very short. It's going to be a surprise for him because he likes to give surprises. But he's smart. He started with the opening over and he's now given me the death overs. And he expects me to throw Yorkers at you. Let me tell you, at the fag end of the day, the Yorkers will look like bouncers for them. I know that. But just want to correct you, Captain Chowkar. In the morning, you said there's a God's hand that you did not keep the event same as the cricket final. Let me tell you, this is a technology conference. Let me tell you, if you followed Cricket World Cup and IPL, some of the commentators are teleported. They're not on the ground. So you can have a person in two different places today. That's what technology can do for you. Yeah. So I was asked to speak about initiative taken by the Nautical Institute in promoting maritime. I think the only initiative that we have taken is we just asked 2 questions. And through those 2 questions, do we take our initiative? So the first question that we ask is, what do you want to be? And we ask this question right from cavemen to the most civilized people. Obviously, the answer today is that I want to be a cricketer. And I think after tomorrow, the queue is going to be long now. The ones which are left out of the queue, they probably want to be a footballer. And then we keep getting answers that I want to be a software engineer, a doctor, traditional answers, engineer. Oh my God, somebody said, I want to be a seafarer. I think let's give a round of applause for the right choice that he has made. And of course, today we have both genders in our industry. So, having become what they want to be, we asked our second question. What do you want to do now that you've got your career? What do you want to do now? So, we go back and ask the cavemen, civilized people, the Virat Kohlis, the Ronaldos, the software engineer, the doctor, the engineer, and then we come to the seaman. And he says, I want to be a professional. Virat Kohli talks about fitness. Ronaldo talks about signing new contract. But the seaman, the seafarer talks about being a professional. Because Sri Hajran sir spoke about 50% of the world being frozen in the morning, I would make a statement here. When all the other men put together rule only 30% of the world, we whereas rule 70% of the world. And it's amazing, isn't it? Can we have a big round of applause for them? You know, we are just a small population. We are just population of today's world is about touching 8 billion. We are just 1.2, 1.3 million, but we rule the 70% of the earth. So we want professional development. Seafarers want professional development. We want to be true professionals. And this is what we want to acquire, skills. And for that, competence, learning, knowledge, so many things. Who is going to provide me all these things in one place? And that's where we come in at the Nautical Institute. All that you wanted to be a professional and continuously develop your profession, we are there for you. But why the Nautical Institute? Why not somebody else? Well, we have the wealth of resources, and these resources are coming from across the globe, from the members of the Nautical Institute. Some of these are Seaways Journal and the Navigator magazine, which is circulated across the globe. It's not limited to our country, across the globe, including the ships which are on the oceans. We have a reporting scheme called MARS, Mariners Alerting and Reporting Scheme. It's a confidential reporting scheme through which we collect the various accidents that happen at sea, put it into MARS so that others can learn it and not repeat the same mistakes. So we have a database of accidents and near misses, which is free for the Nautical Institute members. Courses we do online, offline, and some of this you see here are very relevant to what the industry wants. You have a criminalization of the mariner, blockchain for maritime professionals. We keep track of what the industry wants and accordingly develop our courses. I think what happened? Captain Chopin has hacked my remote. Going fast. Okay. Anyway, I'll cut it short. So these are some of the deliverables that you will get as a member of the Nautical Institute. We post jobs across the world, newsletters. And the best thing is where most of them stop with the STCW, we go beyond that. We look at further training and certification, and we offer a lifelong learning and career development at the Nautical Institute. We let our members to attend conferences across the globe, gain knowledge, we put the best practices to them. Networking is global because we're touching close to 10,000 members across the globe, representing 55 countries. We are contributing to the sustainable goals. We have a global voice. The Nautical Institute is an NGO to the IMO, so we have representation for the IMO always. I am on board the Nautical Institute. How many of you are? Can I see any hands up? Yeah, I can see 1, 2. Okay, that's good. So I have some company. Who can join? You can be an individual. If you want to join us at the Nautical Institute, you can be groups. You can join as a group. You can join us as a company. You can join if you are an association. You can join us. We're just a group of professionals. How much does it cost to be a member of the Nautical Institute? I'm sure everybody's asking the question. I would say by cost, just a few cases of beer. That's it, if you want to talk in our language. But in value, it's priceless. But I know as Indians, we always look at offers. So I spoke to London before coming here, and they've given this NI30 offer, which means if you join the Nautical Institute from today till the end of this year, you get a 30% discount on your annual membership. Isn't that good? Can we have a good round of applause for the Nautical Institute?
I think you're not satisfied. Yes, Vivian, if you're not satisfied, then there's another offer. If you join today and I have the QR code with me, I'll be walking around. If you join today, you get 50% discount of the annual membership. So catch me where I am, you'll get 50% membership. Okay, Captain Chocolate has taken over my remote. Just coming to this is our fees, annual fees. And it says if you are a master mariner, you can join if you're a rating master mariner, if you're working in the port sector. It's for maritime, it's not limited to seafarers. If you're working in the Harbour Master's office, you can join us at the Nautical Institute. What you pay as a, if you're a master, what you pay is about 12,000 rupees. And if you're a retired person, when I say retired, you don't have any income, it becomes 50%, which means you're paying 60 pounds, about 60,000 6,000 rupees. And today, if you catch me, you're getting a membership of 2,000 rupees, annual membership. I just wanted to bring your attention to the back side of the stage. We have these paintings which were painted by the cadets at my campus, the IIM Kochi campus, and we had given them a task to engage themselves in their free time. They came out with this wonderful idea, made those paintings. We are displayed at the back end of the stage. You can offer any price and take it with you today. You can just tell the cadet over there any price that you want, take it up. Already 2 are sold, the third one is getting sold, so there will be 3 more I can see. So as you get a break, please visit us at the IIM Kochi stall and take the paintings along with you. This is our group of a few of the professionals at the Nautical Institute, and I look forward to you joining us at the Nautical Institute. Thank you. Yeah, Captain Chocolate, there's a video to you.
Give you the person at the Technology and Maritime Conference. Hello, my name's John Lloyd. I'm Chief Executive of the Nautical Institute. I'm sorry that I can't be with you in person at the Technology and Maritime Conference. But I do want to say that it's a really important gathering, bringing together industry leaders, bringing together industry experts into the same environment and allowing them to communicate and share best practice is the way that we all get better at what we do. So thank you to the Naval Connection and the other organisers of the event. Thank you to everyone who's in the organisation and bringing that professional discussion to the wider community. You are helping shape the future. You're helping make our maritime community safer. And I'm delighted that some really important experiences can be recognised at this event. And I salute the contribution of those award winners and those receiving recognition during the conference. Have a superb event. I know I'm looking forward to the feedback. I hope that on another occasion. Very best wishes.
Thank you for the discount that you have offered. Can I request Mr. Harmus Parucha, MUI, to join us on the stage to do the felicitation, please? Whilst we have the paintings of Nautical, we also have Captain Chocolate's books on display. And he also says that he's inspired by Captain Vinod and he's offering some discounts on the books. So do pick them up.
So I have 2 seconds. Say to Hajra sir. So when we were, like about half an hour, 45 minutes back, Hajra sir called me and said, Shaukat, the Rajendra is out of line. I told him, sir, we always start in time. I said, and we finish in time. बीच में क्या होता है वो मुझे भी पता नहीं है. So sir, I would like to see we have finished at 6:45. So a big round of applause for us and me that we finished in time. Because I have respect for your time. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I know the store is filling up right now and remain with people now. There's more and more to come in. All for the evening. We have a gala, insane evening ahead. Okay? you're going to have something which you've never seen. And I'm really telling you, which one here in conference, and people who are here not seen it, you've never seen something. But I have a small engagement here with all the technology night. On the main event was a technology. Main event is not the IIM. This was just an extension of technology night. The main event is not the fashion walk which we are doing, walk in honor, which was is to promote maritime industry as a clear option for new generation. The main event is the technology night. So I would like to go around the house. Kaushik, if you are here, Kaushik Seal. Kaushik Seal, yeah. I just want to do a small engagement with him. I want to take a few questions. We have 5 minutes before we wrap up. 5 minutes, Kaushik. Kaushik, if you can come up a little bit. Yeah. So one-on-one with Kaushik Seal, like somebody said when Kaushik, Haldar sir said, when Kaushik and myself we get together a lot. So just an engagement. Any questions around the house? Dr. Bilani, he's going to ask you something about medical.
Thank you. Most of the vessels are now running on computers on board. What is the real threat that somebody can hack those computers, hijack the vessels, and create havoc in the world?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, Doctor. And I think the threat is real for sure. So, I mean, we have seen that on more occasions than one, and we have seen the technology and we have seen the hacking which is possible. To enter into the shipboard computer system, it can be done remotely. You don't even have to be anywhere in close proximity to the vessel. It can be done remotely from various places, and of course, the risk of then the vessel and the cargo and the people. Yes, so it's a real threat.
Anybody from the audience, sir? I will go to you. Don't make things difficult to Kaushik.
Actually, I don't know, Kaushik, if you can answer this question. It's for Ruchin.
Yeah, you just open it out.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a great diverter.
Okay. So it's regarding the supplies. You said, if it's hard, you can place an order. How do you deal with the challenges of actual delivery, given the ETA, ISPS code, all sorts of other, port entry regulations? How does the delivery part work?
This is for Dhruv. Dhruv is here?
Not for Ruchi.
Poonam, Dhruv.
Yeah, sorry, Dhruv.
Poonam, she's calling the master.
Escape.
No, but chief officer the master ko bulayega. Okay, we'll go to the next question. Yeah. Anybody? Any answer? Dhruv, master on the bridge. You have to repeat the question, please. There's a question for you.
I'll repeat the question very simply. How do you handle the delivery part? Placing the order is easy, click of button. But then you have to make a physical delivery. You have to face the challenges of making port entry, dealing with ISPS code, ETA of ship, all sorts of things. So your delivery mechanism, could you give some explanation?
So, sir, wherever we have our own warehouses, so right now we have warehouses in Cochin, Gujarat, Mumbai, and Chennai. So the delivery is handled in-house by our team, in the sense that whenever the captain is approving an order, the agent details are known to us, right? So we connect with the agent, we know the delivery schedule of the vessel, and so now what we are also doing is basically integrating Google Maps with our delivery partners. Like, we have, say a transportation or trucking company that we use for our deliveries. So next month you will see that people don't have to sort of message us or call us, truck kahan pe pahunch gaya, kahan pe hai, kitne. They can sort of use the Google Map location. They can go to the app and track the truck like how you track your Uber, right? So it's all done in-house wherever we have a warehouse. But outside of India, obviously we depend on the partners. But as I said that we do a proper KYC check for our vendors. We normally work with the sort of not with the A grade suppliers because they already have the business. I mean, B grade suppliers want to have more business. We are doing the marketing for them. Just for example, the Singapore supplier that we use, we've given him $500,000 of business in the last 1 year, right? So they would want to work with us. So from next month onwards, whenever their truck leaves, all they have to do is just put the truck driver's number in the, Google Maps, and you'll be able to track them, like how you track, as I said, your Uber.
Just 1 minute. I mean, I don't think, you have fully answered Yankee's question, because his question was related more to the ETA of the vessel. Depending on the port entry, depending on the ISPS challenge and all that. So while once you have the ship, then what you have answered is correct. But about the ETA, I think there that uncertainty remains. I think
So so we are in touch with the agents that way. So agents will tell us when the ship is arriving, when it is berthing. So by the agent.
we just have, I have a small, question come comment. I won't say it is only a question. Actually, from Saurabh Kumar's presentation, it sort of came to my mind. It was regarding the future fuel and things like that. Yeah. So while we keep on talking about the future fuel, I mean, whatever it is, hydrogen, biofuel, blah, 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 whatever, cells, the batteries and all that. But what we most of the time don't do is to have the low hanging fruits, capitalized. After all, we talk about this fossil fuel. I'm sure for decades, the fossil fuel is going to be there. In India, our energy constituent today is 60% is coal. And since our per capita energy consumption is something like 1/15 of USA and maybe 1/4 or 1/3 of China, obviously the aspiration of our country cannot be ignored. So we can today say the world has become polluted, but why did it become polluted? It's because of the industrial revolution and waste being the beneficiary. So this fossil fuel will remain. India will remain, dependent on coal for a long time. But I believe 60% of the emission of the pollution can be reduced if you just wash the coal at the mine head, pit head. 60%. Those things are not really focused. Well, that's what we should do. There will change in fuel, change in technology. This will happen. It will be a long time to come. But these things we can do straight away and without much investment at all. And the result will be tremendous.
Correctly pointed out, sir. Exactly the point Nord is challenging in the shipping industry as we speak. Fossil fuel frankly is not going in. And while we figure out and we convince the industry to do various measures to control these aspects of coal or fossil fuel or any other fuel, we have proven and basic, as you rightly pointed out, things that we can do today. And that is what Rod is involved in, our team is involved in, on basic approaches towards these.
Sorry, I still don't know why you have that band-aid in that place. Gaurav, if you ask long questions, when there are long answers, I will go back to Hadra sir and say, मेरा कोई गलती नहीं था, मैं तो कहीं पे ही खत्म किया था. Gaurav ने एक question पूछ लिया. Wait, Nipun, first Gaurav.
Hi, my name is Gaurav Chabra. I represent Hilo Maritime Risk Management. My question is to the new age technology providers, whether it's AR, VR, XR, simulation. The question is, how aligned are the stakeholders in the regulatory framework to promote these technologies? Because currently we have simulators, but if these new technologies have to come in, either they have to be mandated for training, or there has to be some additional value for the training providers. So how aligned is IMO, XTW, committee, TG? It's for the technology providers. Maybe Ruchin can answer or Gaurav can answer.
Ruchin or Gaurav, anybody wants to take this? Ruchin, you want to take this? But very crisp. If it's a very long answer, then we say we can have it over cocktail.
Even Captain Debu is here, Global Med is here. So how? Because these are representation to the IMO. So I think it should be. Yeah,
I think Captain Debu can answer.
Yeah, I think that's what I think as well. Because
Debu sir, you want to take this?
Sorry to put you on the spot.
बोल रहा है कि वो जो बोल रहा है ना वो IMO को बताना है.
Yeah, true. Actually, as the technology advances, we need to change our training methods also. And now being the right time actually to impress upon IMO, because we are undergoing a comprehensive review to the STCW. And the new framework will come out in 2027, 2028. So that's the time when, if now is the time when the providers can put forward their viewpoints through papers. Of course, papers can be put up through either government bodies like parties, or for example, India, or through NGOs also, like the Nautical Institute, Global Med, etc. So I think it is a good time to impress upon it, and things will change definitely. Why not?
Okay, so Nipun wanted to ask a question. मैं बोला बाद में बोला नहीं पूछूंगा, झाड़ू में पूछ लूंगा, ज़्यादा समझ में आएगा. So Dubey sir wants to answer. I'm sorry, this is the last question we can afford for this particular round, because I know that the crowd is also already filled up to double its quantity, and it's going to fill up more. So exclusively, I want to keep the time for IIL and Walker Forum.
I'm Captain Dubey from MMTI. My question to Mr. Saurabh Kumar. First question is, how soon the liquid hydrogen is going to be the fuel of the ships? Second question is that Indian government is making liquid hydrogen depots in many ports. What is the purpose of that? Is it going to be the bunkering of the ships, or what is the purpose?
So, sir, our engagement at North is on the energy efficiency side. Since there is not much clarity on the and it changes from region to region, and our scope is worldwide, not region specific for the matter. So I will not be a perfect candidate to answer that question. I would say, what the government intends to do with such facilities in India and on the ports. However, the projections that we have, hydrogen seems to be lagging behind methanol and ammonia, for that matter, as a direct fuel. Of course, it has high calorific value, but it is lagging. And it is expected by 2050, it will have maybe around 10 to 11% market share. Other fuels will have higher. So that's as per the prediction from methanol.
Okay, nobody can hear you if you're not on the mic. So anyway, so you want to answer or you want to ask?
So everybody is talking about dual fuels. So I would like to add one thing, especially Dubey sir, that hydrogen or methanol or LNG or bio-LNG, green methanol, LNG has come as a transition fuel, but when all other fuels are there, people, the ship owners, the charters, they will choose. So everything will be used, but with extensive, more technical technologies to lower down the carbon footprint, methane slip, or whatnot. Yeah. So just to answer your particular question, I'll just tell you the technology which we are already is there in the market is hydrogen fuel cells to produce ammonia on board, then that ammonia to be burned. So that's the technology which is being the most viable. So that you take a small hydrogen fuel cell, create ammonia on board. So the process is to create it on board and then use that, because that's pretty much pure to be used. So that's the technology which is being done. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaushik. And I will take this opportunity to now officially close Technology Maritime. I'm going back to Leah again. Leah, all yours.
You can answer me.
Oh yeah, I'm getting something for you, just as an answer.
The back?
Okay, before I cut it short, before I let Leah close this, and my heartfelt gratitude to Leah. Round of applause for Leah from Elegant Marine. Leah, you've done a wonderful job. This is for you.
I'm speechless. Before we dive into the program, let's take a moment to acknowledge our esteemed guests and our sponsors. Without their generous support, events like this would not be possible. I would also like to recognize the hard work of the event organizers, the volunteers, the cadets around, the staff who have put in countless hours to make this event a reality. The cadets are from Manet Institute. I think they're around.
Applause for Manet.
Thank you once again for joining us, and let us make tonight's event unforgettable one. Enjoy the incredible event evening full of laughter, joy, heartfelt moments. This is Leah Fernandez signing off, and cheers to the evening, guys.
One second. So I think the most important part is left, and if I don't say this, and people are all looking at you, they expect it. So bar will be open right now. So yeah, so you're thirsty and hungry, and angry mind is a hungry and mind is an angry mind. So we'll open the bar now. We'll have a break. Yeah, how much you give us? So the evening has changed. Everybody has changed. People are changing, and we'll have different sets of people. We'll have different sets of lights. We'll take a break for 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll come back. We'll have an announcement. The bar is open. You can take a drink and come back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have an extremely exclusive award function which the maritime industry has never seen before. And we are going to have an awards function which is called Innovation in Maritime. There are people and cadets from all around India. Some of them have been shortlisted. You've received, and I'm going to talk you through the awards line. So you're going to really witness a spectacle while we go live to a global audience. So we are breaking now for the next 15 minutes. Bar is open. Bar will be open. I'm not going to shut the bar. The bar will be open. And take a drink and let's enjoy the evening ahead. Thank you so much.
कोण आहे तो तर क्लबचा आहे हा लाईट वाला हा माहिती का नाही मला स्कॅनर विनर ठेवलं सगळं ठेवलं बुक शिकवत नाहीतच चालणार आहे
Okay. I want a change in mood, change in music, change everything. At this light, I don't want any other light. Yay lights layega. And then, of course, I am over. Yeah.
हा तो लाईट लावा लागेल हा बोला ना. आता आपले अवॉर्ड सांगू नंतर मग काय सांगू जास्त नाही की तुमचं डिस्कशन हा ते समाजापर्यंत चालू होईल समाजात हो ते एक तास आहे त्यानंतर फॅशन शो आहे ते एक तासभर आहे तो झाला की संपलाय बट आता ते तुम्ही गेस्ट असणार हा, क्या हुआ अरे मैं इधर से आई डोंट नो हवेश होय हे लाईटचं पण आहे हा लाईटचं पण आहे तो काय तो चालूच करतो चालूच करतो हा कान खाते माझे हा अरे काय बनवायचं मला नाही हे करू का दादा मी काय नाही चालेल म्युझिकच नाही I can give you the laptop. I have my headphones. Okay. The two ones. This is the sequence, right? One, two. This is the introduction. This is the nothing to do. Please. The last. Seven. This. can take the laptop. I'll be here only, yeah. अरे थोड़ा म्यूजिक थोड़ा लाउड करना, ये म्यूजिक बदल दो, थोड़ा लाउड कर. अवॉर्ड्स पाहिजे फॅशन थोडंच आहे डान्स आहे ते अवॉर्ड म्हणजे ते फॅशन शो आहे ना त्यामध्ये जे होईल ते सेटअप बघून सांगतो तो कॅमेरा नाही अवॉर्ड टोटली वेगळे तो एक तासभर प्रमोट झाले मग फॅशन जो अवॉर्ड साठी हा सेटअप अशा वरतीच आहे ना आणि मग ते बेसिक अवॉर्ड तसा असं झालं अवॉर्ड नाही अवॉर्ड एक तास पण नाही झाला थोडं अवॉर्ड काय परफॉर्मन्स जेव्हा हे चालू होतं फॅशन तेव्हा आयडिया सगळं डान्स मी पण ऍक्च्युअल बघितलं नाही काय आहे मला असं वाटत नाही की एक्झॅक्ट लाऊड डान्स वगैरे ते ऑन द वे टू द रॅम्प ते तेवढंच मला ना माहिती चढलोय त्याच्यावर आता चढलोय मी तेवढा लापूनच चढलोय हा मग स्लाइड वर झाला अरे त्या लाईट बंद होत्या एवढा जितका काम आहे उसको बोलू माझ्या अरे मला सांग काम काय आहे मी इथे बसून मी लाईट ऑपरेट करणार आहे का त्याला बेइज्जत आई थोडं चक्र काय तुम्ही खाल्लंय मी डिश घेऊन आलो मग मगाशी तुला बघून ती इथे ठेवली चालू झालं मी बोललो आहे ना काय करू ते थंड होणार मार चमाड भेट तिथे तिथे अरे चेंज बिनला गेला असेल आई सोबत जाऊ दे ते अवॉर्ड्सला आहेत हा कुठे गेला माणूस कुठे तुझा तुझा माणूस कुठे आहे चौक चेंज केला ना त्याने तू गायब हो कुठेतरी पाहिजे तू गायब हो कुठेतरी पराग बाबा हायस कुठे तू माझा लॅपटॉप दिलाय मी हो अक्षय काय पूर्ण ऐकू दे त्याला मी पूर्ण हेडफोन दिलाय त्याला बोलतो पूर्ण ऐक ठीक आहे कारण का नवीन काय एडिशन तुमचे झाले काय आता ती सोबत थांबेल तुमच्या ते मग मॅनेजेबल इथे बसव तुमच्यासोबत ठीक आहे बाकी सगळं डन तुम्हाला काय अजून काम होतं काम नाही फक्त ते म्हणजे जे व्हिडिओ केलेत ना ते फक्त एकदा नजर मारा कारण का काय आहे ना बिफोर आफ्टर व्हिडिओ आहेत ना आपले ते हे बघितले असतील ना व्हिडिओ ते माहिती आहे ना त्या आधीचे जे व्हिडिओ आहेत मग ते पण प्ले होणार नंतर प्ले होणार परत चालूच राहणार कारण का अनाउन्समेंट काय नाही करणार ही इशिका अनाउन्स करेल ना म्हणजे पहिलं गुड ओल्ड डेज नंतर ती अनाउन्स करेल ना अनाउन्स केलं सोडला पहिले एव्ही लागणार माझी एव्ही संपल्या आपलं सॉन्ग लागलं पाहिजे बरोबर पण आता मध्ये जिकडे एव्ही ते माहिती हा ते डायरेक्ट मला लावून टाकायचं असेलच नाही मग त्याकडे स्क्रिप्ट आहे आम्हाला ते तुमच्यावर आमचं काम चालतं. त्यांना टेन्शन नाही. तेवढं मी पॉकेट आहे ना बाई. तुझं लक्ष आहे ना माझं. बाकी कमी आहे तुमचं इतकं नाही आहे. आणि कोणाचा एकच सॉंग डबल आहे. मला वाटतं कोणता वरुण आपली गाईड हा 9 आणि 10 नंबर काहीतरी येते. Yeah, you can do it. There's a lot of things. Get it? Yeah.